Okay, so this is basically the same thing I just had, except now I'm through those little extenders, right? Those little extenders. Is that redundant?
No.
So let's see if one of those pops off. What happens? Catastrophic failure, right? So we'll put that back on there. Then there's this little sweet little trick you can do, right? And you can take one of these and you can put a twist in it. Clip that. Oops, see daisy.
Scratched it.
I know.
I didn't do it, Lieutenant.
Don't worry, the scratch is already on the speaker.
And now, if one of those fails, it wasn't a catastrophic failure. But what did happen?
That's still a pretty big drop.
Right, I fell a good 4 feet. And what happens when you generate all that velocity and then suddenly stop?
Shock absorber system.
Yeah, you get hurt, or things break maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully none of the above, but possibly. So the cool thing is we're sharing the load between two anchors. Each of those anchor points that we don't fully trust is carrying less than 100% of the load. So hopefully the two of them together, we've got a stronger anchor that we're comfortable with for the job that we're going to do. We put this twist in it, so at least if one of them does happen to fail, hopefully the other one's strong enough to catch that shock load and we don't get hurt and nothing breaks. And if I'm my victim where I need to go is in that direction, I'm at a nice angle for it. Or if it's even over there, this particular anchor allows me to...
What's that called?
Notice how the tension...
Self-equalize.
Yeah, the tension on both of those, it just adjusts itself. It's self-equalizing, which is a nice feature. Problem is this is great. This is a great anchor. People use it in climbing. You could use it in the rescue. I would totally trust it.
We used to use it a long time ago.
We used to use it. Nothing wrong with it. Problem is the shock load. If one of those items, one of those points fails. Also, if the webbing is cut, what happens? Right, you're done. So those are some of the pros and some of the cons. It's got some good elements and it's got some bad stuff. Just as long as you are aware of those and you apply it the correct way, it's a suitable anchor. So to throw something else in here while we're at it is, what if I took this 2-point anchor system and I threw a knot in it? So now, first thing I'm checking is what? Angle. Is my angle, because I just shortened my line. So I need to make sure my angle is still good. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. So now, if I have that same nothing, I mean I've pendulumed over a tiny bit, but I reduced the shock load so I'm less likely to make that other semi-questionable anchor fail or any of my equipment fail. You with me? So, what if I cut one of the strands?
Same thing, it's still good.
Same thing, right? If that strand fails rather than that little carabiner or anchor point failing, same thing. So there's some redundancy there. You understand what we mean by the redundancy? And then, yeah. And then, so before we had the self-equalizing anchor. Now, if, turns out I need to go in that direction.
What happens?
You bring it all on.
It's all one now, right?
And the whole point was to share the force between 2 points. But I'm not if I go off my pre-equalized direction, even just a little bit. So we get redundancy out of it. We get some strength out of it. You know, we get some things that we like, but we also get some things out of it that we don't like. The equalization part, self-equalizing, is a pretty cool feature. But if we don't need it, maybe we accept that. So anyways, just to be aware of those different kind of elements to them and decide what you want and what you need and what's safest. Or sometimes it's not necessarily what's safest. What's safe enough to get the job done?
How elaborate do you want to build it? And what is the need? For us, for low angle, we're going to be on our feet most of the time, right? Doesn't need to be super, super crazy.
So now who's got a really long piece of webbing? Can I borrow that? So now we're going to equalize. Hey, we got three. These two, I still don't trust the darn thing, even when it's equalized. Let's add in a third. So I'll capture that one. I'll capture that one, and we'll find something here. It's right here. We'll put a carabiner in that.
Here, I'll be the third.
Right here. Oh, I got it right
Tied,
here.
it's not tied.
I'll be the third anchor.
I got it. So now I got three different anchors captured. Granted, that one in the middle doesn't have it's got a little friction. Sharp edge that I would So grab from in between those two and from in between those two. Adjust my knot so it's in a spot I can live with off the carabiner. And now we got three anchor points sharing the load. So depending on the angle, still less than 90 degrees from outside to outside. And now I don't know what percentage each one's holding, but it's less than 70 of that. Right? It's a much smaller fraction. So that's pretty good. This is self-equalizing. The only problem with it is it's not as easily self-equalizing, partially because I have a lot of friction at this particular spot. If it was three carabiners, that would slide quite a bit more nicely. If I was worried about, I could do the same thing and put a knot in this. Three. Again, my angle is my first concern. Pre-equalized, but only in this direction of pull. And you see when I tied it, I didn't tie it perfectly. There's two issues. The center one is slack, so it's not seeing any of the load, and the knot's right on the carabiner. So those would be two features that I would stop and readjust this. What?
You got
One more what?
one more way. You can actually go back to your three.
Go the double twist.
You can do one twist, capture that one twist, capture that. One twist, capture that, and now that you can have an equalizing a little bit more.
So two twists. That twist is important because that way if one of these fails, again, we don't have catastrophic failure. We're going to extend and shock load, but we're not going to have catastrophic failure.
So can you have an anchor that's non-extending and self-equalizing?
You sure can. How would you do it? You could tie a doubled up webbing around a single anchor point. Right? If you have a single anchor point, anchor again. You want it self-equalizing and okay, self-equalizing. So here's what we would do. We would take this single anchor point. This is a San Diego City Systems anchor, but not a Larro anchor. Not a pretty knot, I get it. Now that's a single metal post. Self-equalizing. Right?
Minor injury.
Non-extending. Cut one of those. The knot keeps the system intact. No extension. And it's all redundant except for the single anchor, but we would assume that that's a bomb-proof anchor.
Gotcha.
Do you need double lock and lock split?
In this,
Would that be the same?
that would not be
Would move.
redundant. Because if the double locking lark's foot,
You
Still
have
have
to,
two strands. It's two strands, so one.
but it didn't have the knot in it. The lark's foot could come unraveled.
Right.
Whereas the figure eight of the overhand wouldn't.
Yeah.
no, but you could do,
And let's
you could do this where, I know what he's getting at, so just real quick. You're doing this, hold on.
Just to be clear, there are so many different ways to do the rigging, okay? And we're sticking to the Larro curriculum, and we're kind of dabbling into the San Diego curriculum. We'll get into more of that later, but I think we just covered all of the Larro curriculum except for our stakes and pickets. So we're gonna go practice these, and then we'll regroup again for the pickets.
So Ben, when you did the 3-point or the 3-acre share, you twisted each individual point.
Yeah, that multi-point,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're
Wasn't
pulling from each two.
together.
You do a twist, twist.
Because if you didn't, you cut one strand, the whole thing would go.
I just figured.
All right, cool. So we'll break in our squads.